Welcome back. An internal memo leaked by Newt Gingrich's campaign says they're doing better now than they need to be. Here's a little look at what this memo said. We are about where we always thought we'd be at this point in the race. In fact, we are in a stronger position than necessary at this stage. But according to a recent Rasmussen Iowa caucus poll, Gingrich is not even in the top 3. So what gives here? Let's dive into it. Let's ask our political panel this morning. Robert George is an editorial writer for the New York Post. John Fugelsang is a political humorist and producer of Stephanie Miller's Sexy Liberal Comedy Tour. Love that. And Jason Matera is editor-at-large for Human Events and author of this book, Obama Zombies. Nice to see all of you this morning, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
So, leaked memo. You guys seem skeptical that this thing was leaked, Robert.
Well, usually if something is leaked, it ends up being somewhat negative towards the campaign. But considering what the flowery terms that the Gingrich campaign is describing their own campaign, it seems to me that it was sort of kind of sent out. And by the way, in full disclosure, I worked for Newt Gingrich when he was Speaker. But I'm just saying that this seems like.
So does this seem like in typical fashion? Something that Newt would do?
Well, I'm not certainly not from when he was Speaker, but this is certainly something that a campaign would do when a lot of these things are hitting them from all sides, and they need to shore up support amongst their supporters.
Let's go down the line, John. Do you agree with that?
I think Rob is right. Yeah, I think he's exactly right. I think if it was something horrible, negative, desperate, and craven, it wouldn't have been leaked. The fact that it's so positive and sunny, and the fact that we're even talking about it, shows what a master of damage control Newt Gingrich is.
And Jason, do you think though that is this true? I mean, let's look at the substance of the actual memo itself, which says, we're doing better than we need to be doing. Is that accurate? Does he need to be doing better than that?
Oh, it is accurate. Newt has been banking on South Carolina. He's been letting on for weeks now that Iowa may not matter. He started out with no money. He still really doesn't have any money. His organization is threadbare. The problem Newt Gingrich is facing is that he ran into a debate shortfall. I mean, he was soaring in the debates. Now, when you have 2 weeks and there's no debates, and he's just making the campaign stops, it was his debating prowess that had him surging in the polls. He's not able to do that for the last 2 weeks.
Robert, you disagree, or you do
well,
agree?
no. I mean, I tend to agree, but the point is, though, he did not have the financial resources to take on both Romney's ad attacks and Ron Paul's ad attacks, and that is what has contributed to his collapse in Iowa. And I think, unfortunately, if he doesn't respond, it would contribute to his collapse down the road in South Carolina and some of the other states as well.
I mean, that depends, but we have to look at where Michelle Bachmann's voters go, where Rick Santorum, where Rick Perry's voters go. If they peel off after Iowa, Newt Gingrich looks very well in South Carolina.
But John, does he need to, though, sit back? I mean, because, there's only 3 ballots out of Iowa. So 4th place isn't good enough. 5th place really isn't good enough. Or is it? Can he use 4th and 5th place to roll into New Hampshire and then into South Carolina?
I think it only matters if you actually believe he was ever really running for president. Newt was running for higher public speaking fees, and now he's running for a big convention speech.
Well, that's absurd. Newt Gingrich was former Speaker of the House. He has numerous books. He charges
Speaker from the Muppets has a better chance of being elected president than Newt Gingrich.
But to say that it's just some advance in narcissism on the part of Newt Gingrich is dismissive. Newt Gingrich is serious about running for president. I don't think he can get any more name recognition. Now, you can look at other candidates, maybe a Herman Cain, and say, well, this was good to give him a national spotlight. I could agree.
Newt had no organization in Iowa to begin with. He never thought he'd be doing this well.
Robert, break the stalemate. You worked for him. Was this a narcissism move for him? Or
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think there had been talk about Newt launching a campaign going back to '96, 2000, and so forth. So it has been something that had always been in the back of his mind. I think he was surprised at the surge that he had about a month ago, but unfortunately he did not have the structure to be able to take a full advantage of it.
Well, stick around, guys. We talked about looking back a little bit. We're going to have some fun here and look back at 2011. It's going to soon be over. So who are the big winners and losers in the political world this year? It's hard to remember some of this stuff actually happened. Our political panel sticks around to share their picks. Plus, Kim Kardashian ringing in 2012 with a party. Will you guys be there? And she's getting paid to do it. Just how much the reality star will make for a night of fun.
News by the numbers now. First, 4,000. That's the number of Chevy Sonics General Motors is recalling. The automaker wants to check for missing brake pads on its 2012 models. Next, 75,000. That's how many credit card numbers were stolen out of a private intelligence company. Stratfor's system, that's the name of the company. Hacking group Anonymous claim responsibility for publishing them. And finally, oh my, $600,000. That's the insane amount of money Kim Kardashian will collect just for attending a New Year's Eve party in Vegas. Yes, so you can go sit next to her. Clayton, how much to spend time with you?
You and I will be there tonight at her party. These guys, though, didn't get the invite. My bad. As we end one year and get ready to begin a new one. You're going to Paris Hilton's one, I said. Let's find out the biggest political winners and losers of 2011, according to our political panel. We are back now with our panel. All right, Jason, let's start with you. Political losers this year. Who do you think really hit the bottom of the barrel?
2011 political loser, Joe Biden. America deserves a semi-competent vice president. Here's a man who compared the Tea Party to terrorists. He said that the Republicans were on the side of rapists if they wouldn't spend another $500 billion in stimulus funds. And even liberal Democrat pollsters, honest ones, are saying if Barry has a fighting chance of getting reelected, they need to drop Joe Biden from the ticket. Political loser 2011, Joe Biden.
Yeah, we'll see if Hillary Clinton ends up stepping into that spot. That would be interesting. John, your biggest loser this year in the political world?
I'd have to say the GOP presidential field. You know, Mitt Romney gets a lot of flack for being a flip-flopper, and it seems like the guy has flipped more than a crack house mattress. But the fact is, this man has consistently been willing to believe anything to get elected, and that is consistent. The voters of the GOP in Iowa have had 6 different frontrunners since the summer. They're the flip-floppers. The GOP field are the victims.
And the Rasmussen poll out this morning showing 45% of Iowa voters right now still don't have an idea of who they're going to vote for 3 days out.
It's like Blockbuster Video. They're closing the store in 2 minutes, and you have to decide which crappy film do I pick.
Pick up a Sylvester Stallone film and get out. All right. Robert, pick your biggest loser of the political field this year.
Yeah, my biggest loser is going to be Herman Cain. Actually, when he briefly rose to the top amongst the Republican field, he could actually be tracking himself to have been possibly on the ticket as a vice presidential pick. But then when all the stories of women came out, and it was then very clear he couldn't talk about anything beyond 999. Not only did he just completely collapse and leave the race, he ended up leaving as a joke, and that makes him the loser.
But he sold a lot of books
of a poor field.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the big winners this year. There were certainly many in the political field this year. Let's start with Jason. Go back to your big winner this year. We were just kind of talking off camera about this guy, and all the polls seem to be suggesting.
I think it's Ron Paul. Listen, here's a man who has hoodwinked, I think, mass number of people into believing he's some mainstream candidate and dismissing his past flirtations with anti-Semitism, with 9/11 trutherism, and even his crazy talk about blacks over the years. And now you have a large swath of voters who buy into him talking about reining in the Fed and abiding by the Constitution, ending the welfare state, all great items. But then, on many issues, he's even more left than Barack Obama.
John, your big winner of the year?
Well, I do agree with Jason. I think Ron Paul had a really good year. But I'd have to say the winner of the year is the super rich. Like every year, the super rich was the winner this year. You know, you can't stand up for Main Street when you're on all fours for Wall Street. And I think we've learned more than ever. It's not liberal versus conservative. It's aristocracy versus democracy. Good job, 1%. You win again.
The occupiers would agree with you, I guess, on that. Robert, and your final big winner of the year.
My big winner, I'm not going to leave New York State. Actually, it was the governor of New York State, Andrew Cuomo. He managed to wrestle a completely dysfunctional legislature, which we've had in New York for decades. He balanced the budget, cut spending, did not raise taxes as he promised he would not raise taxes, and he also, for those on the left, got through gay marriage as well, and set himself up as the possible 2016 presidential nominee for the Democrats.
It seems like he has one of the highest approval ratings in the country right now.
Exactly.
Republicans and Democrats like him.
He's above 60%, and the Democrats are going to be looking at him for several years.
That's remarkable. And he's got a countdown clock, I think, on his website, which ends, I think, tonight with this income tax thing that he's managed to push through. He's claiming it'll have the lowest income tax rates in the country.
Yeah. He did weasel on the millionaires tax thing. thing, but it was enough of a weasel.
Millionaires have had it rough for a while. Let's be honest.
Hey, we are aspiring one percenters, right, Rob?
We're aspiring.
I'm just glad I got
Year,
you to say "sexy liberal comedy tour" Volume 1 on the air.
Well,
That's right.
That's all I care about.
Just put it in the prompter, and I'll say it. Guys, happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
everyone,
guys.
Happy New Year, guys. Thank you.
Coming up on the show, refusing the Stars and Stripes. A Maryland town angry at the Highway Patrol for taking down an American flag meant to honor soldiers there. The family member who put it there, got it taken down, joins us live. Plus, what will you be toasting with it? Tonight, the cocktail guru. Here with some simple drink recipes to spice up your New Year's celebration.
And never brought to mind should old